Are you planning to move to Surrey, BC in 2023? Well, you're going to want to watch this whole video until the very end because we're going to be going over the most important things you should know before moving to Surrey, BC in 2023. Okay, Jeff, let's get right into it there, buddy. Starting with the cost of living in Surrey, BC.
Jumping right into it. We did some digging. We did some research. Believe it or not, the average cost for a single person who rents right now, roughly, it's about $3,100 right now.
Okay.
A month. And that's based on basically rental. Now, you might think that's quite a bit, but there's a lot to it than that. There is the rental.
Yep.
It also includes transportation, groceries, and entertainment. So it does come to around those numbers. Now, the household average income is around the $116,000, $120,000 a year. That's household, not maybe for one person's household.
Okay.
Right now, we divide that by two, right? So you're looking about $60K, give or take.
Okay.
Right? And now, that can be skewed a bit, but it's roughly around those numbers because I think it's more around the $50,000, $48,000, but it all depends. But let's also look at some other factors here. One of the other factors is our Surrey weather.
Oh, weather.
Our climate here is ironically, it's quite different than some places, right? We have mild winters, summers. Rain is rain. We get a lot of that. It's, people say Raincouver, right? But we get a lot of rain here in Surrey as well. And I'm going to say the cliche, it's hot and cold and blah this and blah that, right? But we do get a good mixture. It's not always so damp. I know our viewership can't look outside right now. It's sunny. We're expected
It's warming up.
a good summer, right?
Yeah,
Possibly
yeah.
a heat wave, I think they're saying again.
A lot of people were saying that.
So, I mean, there's no secret to it. I would still invest in a nice rain jacket.
Some Bessies.
Yeah, maybe get a nice hoodie. Also, the snow does get pretty bad here. Sometimes our city could not act as fast as they should be in the past, and vehicles get stuck. So, yeah, 4x4, a truck.
Now, compared to other parts of British Columbia, though, not that much snow. But for Surrey, recently, this past winter, last year, and some parts of this year was snowing. Quite a bit of snow for Surrey typically compared to other years, right?
Well, yeah, I would say so, but that could be accounted to global warming. I don't know.
Yeah, snowed in weather, no. But cars flying. I'm sure you've seen videos online. Some of our audience has probably seen those videos. People trying to make it up the hill, just getting stuck in your little Yaris.
Are you looking at me to confirm that true or not? But let's go back here. Because the next thing I'm going to talk about is transportation here. Transportation is very, very big.
Huge.
And just growing, especially with the SkyTrain, with the population growth density happening. Transportation is a very, very big thing here. Right down the Fleetwood corridor, we have the Fleetwood SkyTrain soon to be coming. But I'm going to jump right back into one thing here, Rick. I'm going to jump back to the cost of living here for 1 second, right? Because I did do some research. We do research, people. Right? Because I know we talked roughly about the cost of living for someone who's renting, but we're realtors. Let's get into the home market here. Now, let's say that the average person, or just one person, buys a condo. And this is the really important part here. Can I afford to live in Surrey, and what does that look like? Right? So if you were to buy a condo, let's say roughly about $550,000. Now, running on today's mortgage numbers, I'm just going to say 5.5 interest rate at a 5-year fix, roughly. I know this up and down. I'm just going to stick to 5.5, and I'm going to put around 10% down. Let's say that it's a one-bedroom. Put 10% down, then that means your mortgage with your strata fee would roughly be about $3,500. But that's just your mortgage. Now you have your transportation, which would roughly cost you about $550 a month. Your groceries, say about $100 a week, bringing up to about $400, right? Then you're also looking at your utilities, roughly about $250. Leisure entertainment, depending how much you want to party, how much you don't want to party, what you do. You're a bookworm, I don't know, but I'm going to put that at roughly about $200, a modest $200. Clothing, if you're just chilling and not maybe like Ricky and tries to go all out all the time. I know he doesn't look that way when he comes dressing up with just basic t-shirts, but he does get fancy sometimes.
Bottle service everywhere I go.
I'm going to put that about $150 a month. And restaurant wise, you go out eat, I'd say about $300, modest, right? Nothing too crazy. And miscellaneous, let's say modest living, $150. That could be miscellaneous expenses, right? If you add all those numbers up, the cost to live here in Surrey for a 1-bedroom condo, you would have to be paying about almost $5,500, so $5,500 to own a 1-bedroom here with your cost of living. That's a big number.
It's huge,
right? So you got to remember, if your average income is on the average around 50 to 60,000, well, you're going to have some trouble there. And that means you better know how to handle your credit card, right? So that is a really big thing to take into account. So I really did want to talk about that before we get into other aspects.
Sorry to cut you off there, Jeff, but I say it every episode, every single episode. You can get yourself a free JC Homes hoodie like I have on here. All you have to do is subscribe to our channel, the Surrey BC Real Estate Podcast. Write the comments, I have subscribed, after subscribing to our channel, and I will send you out a free JC Homes hoodie. There is one audience member of ours, Rob. It's still coming, all right? Hang tight. I'm coming to drop it off to you very soon here. Back into the video there, Jeff. Before we continue here, I wanted to congratulate you on your new position as president of the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. Congratulations.
Rick, thanks. I very much appreciate that. As you know, I was the vice president before. Luckily, we were able to secure my position as the incoming president, so it's very exciting. And I'm going to make sure that we use all that information and knowledge not only to help our clients, but also help the industry. And so I'm really excited to not only reach out with a lot of the real estate leaders across the province, but also across the country in regards to real estate matters. But you know what, Rick? It's not about me. Let's get back into it.
Is Surrey a safe place to live? It's always in the news, but is it safe? I would say yes. But, would you like to elaborate more on that? I could talk about crime in Surrey for a long, long time. This episode would go on forever. But I mean,
you want me to talk about safety? Surrey, safety. You know what, people, there's crime everywhere. Unfortunately, there's recent events that happened, and I don't want to talk too much about it. It's a very, very sad things that happened, but it didn't even happen in Surrey. It happened in Vancouver. My heart goes out to his family and everything. But with that being said, crime can happen everywhere. So we can't always just think of one particular city. What we should be focusing on is the infrastructure that's being built around a city to help prevent future crime from continuing. And that's actually going to lead to my next thing here, actually. It's about the job market and growth aspect, okay. Right? So not to say that safety is unimportant. Safety is very important, right? But it's not always about looking in the past, it's looking at the future and how we can continue to grow, not only as people, but also as a city. And I think Surrey is well on its way, as you see, to continue to grow and make it a more safe and more family-oriented area, which also comes to the next point we're going to talk about after this is community. But the job market, let's talk about that here. Surrey has a very diverse economy here. Strong focus on technology, strong focus on manufacturing. You drive around Surrey, you see developments everywhere. Right? So ironically, what you see right now what's happening in the job force is one of the three major job opportunities right now are actually in construction, transportation, retail, and manufacturing, which actually you should just drive around. You can actually see it as the city grows and grows and grows. It also has the need for more retail shops, so it's going to have to be able to suffice the population density, which is happening all around us. There's a big plan for Surrey, which has always continued to grow, and we've talked about it at another show about the population growth happening in Surrey. That is going to continue to happen. Surrey is a fantastic city with a lot of growth happening, and they're just keep connecting and connecting, especially with the SkyTrain coming. As the world gets smaller, so does our province, and so does our Lower Mainland, and so does the Fraser Valley.
And
I sound like a politician, don't I? Like, wow.
Yeah, you do. And just to add on that, road construction traffic right now is insane. Never seen it like this before. I got late coming here.
You always
From
get late.
Queensboro area, took me 45 minutes to get to the office, which is way more than usual.
Well, Rick,
Right?
that's exactly the reason I'm saying. It's because of the growth. Right? They have to make more infrastructure, which they're doing. If there's no construction, no ways happening, that means there's no growth. So going back to what I was just talking about, the growth dynamic.
Growth. It's just getting congested.
I'm not running for politics, by the way. I know I sound like it, but I'm not.
And Surrey's definitely, we've noticed it too. It's getting way more congested than previous. I don't know. Maybe I'm just noticing more, but we've talked about it earlier today. Okay, so next topic. Landmarks and recreation.
Well, I was going to talk about community first.
Community as well? Yeah, sorry.
We can go landmarks and recreation, but you know what? Why don't I just combine both of them? The community has grown a lot from and I'm going to call a spade. A lot of people thought of Surrey as prominently East Indian or of that region. I have a lot of clients myself that I've talked to. I've seen it very diverse. We have a very big Korean market. We have a very big Chinese market, right? Caucasian market. It's a very multicultural community growing all around Surrey. The Fraser Valley in itself has grown in diversity so much that you can just drive everywhere and see all types of cultures, which is so beautiful about it, right?
Right.
So if you're not a fan of multiculturalism, which please don't be not a fan. Come on, look at the day we're living in.
You've seen it in some of the TikTok comments, all right?
So if you're not a fan of multiculturalism, then don't come here.
Yeah,
don't come to Fraser Valley. Don't come to Surrey, because this is multiculturalism at its best, and it's just growing.
It really is.
Now, and even in landmarks and recreation, we have some of the best landmarks. Surrey is I think the capital known for its parks. We have so many parks here that are even undiscovered. Like not undiscovered, but no one even goes to. There's nature trails, so much outdoor activity. We have the Surrey Museum here, Surrey Arts Centre. There's so many cultural events in and around. So there's so much recreation and landmarks here. We won't be able to fit it in on this show because I have things to do, right? But we've talked about it on other shows. Go back into things. We've talked about landmarks and recreation. Mm-hmm. We do plan to focus on more areas and further talk about particular areas about it.
That's right. Focusing a lot more on Surrey, all right, guys? So we're trying to keep this episode short and sweet for you guys because we've got a lot more content coming. JC Holmes and the new Surrey BC Real Estate Podcast channel. That's right. You guys heard me say it. The Surrey BC Real Estate Podcast channel, all right? That's the new name for the podcast. If you all have noticed, not only has Jeff got a new position, our channel has a new name as well. And it's only up from here, guys, all right? A lot more amazing content coming out.
Are you threatening them while pointing at them? I just don't understand your pointing
I like
action.
to point with my pen. Okay, that's how people pay attention to me. It's kind of like a teacher. Don't forget to join our TikTok channel. Even though we've been kind of absent on there, but we're coming back.
So let me understand, we're coming back?
TikTok. Coming back on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Coming back on TikTok. And don't forget to listen to us on all major streaming platforms. Like, comment, and subscribe, like we always say. And we'll see you guys again next week for another amazing episode of the Surrey BC Real Estate Podcast. JC Holmes, Ricky J, signing out. See you guys next week.